I'm going to adjust a couple of things here for a minute. This is kind of an impromptu stream, so I don't think we'll get very many people on, but that's fine. Kind of the whole purpose of this is to get a video update so we can put it on YouTube.
Okay, I think I've got the right one up. It's just twitch.tv Miscreated. That's right.
Yep. That's the one. That's where we're at. It should be live.
Yeah, not live yet. Refresh it. Oh, it says live. I'll see you. Yeah, you're live.
Okay.
Sound check.
All right, just give me a minute, guys, here. All right. I'll start in just a second. I think there's a couple people already on the stream, but I'll start in a second here. All right. I'll start in just a second. I think there's a couple people already on the stream. Hey, Graham, I'm getting some feedback from your audio.
I've just dropped the sound down now on this. Shouldn't get anything.
And I'm not logged into my Twitch account, so I'm a Justin Fan 319484 apparently, so that's cool. Like I said, I'm going to go ahead and start. This was an impromptu thing. We've been working today on just kind of getting the game ready. We've been putting a lot of focus lately into getting a lot of stuff working in the game. Some people were asking about animations, and so what I want to do is, this is the area from the last stream we did over on the beach. And so what I'm going to do is kind of start here and go loot some stuff in some of these houses and kind of head over into a new area we've been working on. Show you some of the new areas of the map, and show you some of the AI that's in the game currently, so you kind of get an impression of that. Show you the forest area that we've released images of as well. And as we do this, we'll just kind of answer a few questions and kind of give you a general update on the game. That's kind of the whole purpose of this. This is kind of a replacement for the development update. I've been trying to do those bi-weekly, and I was so busy working on the AI routines this week that I honestly forgot it was a Friday. So this is the replacement. My apology for not doing the development update yesterday. So some of these houses I think we've shown before. So I just kind of showing you some of the detail that we've been trying to put into some of these houses. The functioning doors. It closes really slow. That's easy to change. But this is one of the things that's been taking us quite a while, is just the amount of detail we've been trying to put into the game. We're very concerned about the way it looks. We want it to look great for you guys when you're playing the game. So not only do we want it to be fun, we want it to look fun as well. So I think some stuff, let me find it. So these houses are spawning items. Let me try to find some stuff. Oh, there's something up there. Looks like a hat, perhaps. Yeah, there's a hat up there. There we go. So there's a hat. Let me put this into my pants for now. There's actually an issue. The reason I did that is there's actually an issue right now that if the hat is on the player's head, then your preview doesn't show up in here for some reason. We think we know why, but that's why I took it off, is because it doesn't show up. But there you can see the hat on my player's head that I just picked up. So you can see all this, you know, it updates in real time. Anyway, I'm just going to look for some more stuff here. And these spawners, the way this is set up, some of these items are extremely, I set up most of these, and I even have a hard time finding the items because they just blend in so well with garbage. There's a can of corn. And bandages. I have it set really high right now, so there's a lot of items to kind of show you guys. Yeah, kind of ignore his hands as well. That might be what you're kind of noticing there. Is his hand joints are kind of a little bit messed up, but hey, there's an awesome icon. And we're still working on some of the sound effects. Where's the corn? There it is. So you can kind of see how hard this stuff is to find. So there's a can of corn right there. You can see that. So the one thing I will say is all of these shelves and drawers, items can spawn in any of these. So if you look, there's a can of like nut spread right there in the bottom drawer. So you have to really pay attention and look for the items. They can spawn anywhere. And the same with the cupboards. They can spawn in any of the cupboards. There's one, it's kind of hard to see, but there's one on top of that counter right there. Get up here. See right here on top, they even spawn on top as well. So they can spawn everywhere in the game. So let me go back outside here. So with the, while I'm moving, I'll just kind of chat here a little bit. So we wanted to make it really detailed on where items can spawn in the world. And as you can see in that house, there's a lot of little areas that they can spawn in. You know, all the little, every little shelf we can spawn something on. Every, some frame rate issues. Every, you know, cupboard, every drawer that you pull out, all that kind of stuff, we can spawn them in. And this was kind of an area from the first video as well. And I'm going to go past all this here. Here's a campfire. So we are getting more of the sound effects in right now, as you can tell. And this is what the player crafted campfire is going to look like as well. This is the model for it. So that's what you'll see. Some more little sound effects for tents. Hopefully you guys can hear those. So we have kind of these areas we're setting up to kind of make it look like little survivor-style camps around the map. So it looks like people tried to survive and live for a while. That's kind of what these are. And these will be spread around and have items in them as well.
Players can actually place them tents as well, can they? Not the pop-up tents there?
Yeah, right now these are placeable tents. These pup tents are. These round ones, we can easily set these up to be placeable, but currently they're not. It's actually really easy to do that. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna head over here to some of these newer areas and show some of these newer things off. And I think we showed this before, the free look system. So as you're running, you can look to the side, like you can in all the Arma-style games. Okay, floating corn. All that type of stuff as well. So you can pan around as you move. There are sound effects for eating and drinking. They're not playing for some reason. I'll have to look into that, but they are in the game. So these are some of the newer areas we've been working on. And if we get lucky, we might see some deer and stuff over in here. They're around here somewhere.
A quick question came up there, Terry. Was
Yeah.
will there be a group system or a clan system?
There isn't anything formalized in the game yet. We want to try to keep it as organic as possible, meaning whatever we do, we want it to be part of the game world. So we've had a lot of discussions about that, but there isn't anything yet that's formalized or in-game. And actually, I haven't seen some of this stuff. This is all new stuff the level designer placed. Hey, there's another player over there. Don't bug me. I'm out of here. Going this way. I'll go hide. Trying to find some of the animals. The deer, the AI for the deer, they're really skittish. And they will run away if they see or hear you.
Someone's asking there about the render distance. We have actually been working on that, but it's
yeah,
still...
I can talk about that for a second. So right now, there's a deer right there. So right now, it's set at 1.5 kilometers is what we have it set to in game. In the editor itself, there goes one. In the editor itself, we have it set to 12 kilometers. So we can have a render distance as long as we want. It just comes down to performance and optimization, how we want to optimize the game. But it will handle, really long. That's 1.5 kilometers back there to that far range. You can kind of see it clear back there. But like I said, it'll go to 12. That's what we run in the editor when we're actually working on the map in the game. It's set to 12. Hey. So here's one of the deer, as you can see there, running away. And there's another deer. One thing to point out is that the deer, when they move, they also move bushes. And so I'm going to see if I can show that here in a minute. So as they actually walk through, you'll see them actually moving bushes as well. A little bit hard to see there, but... So I'll tell you a little story while I'm running here. The other day when I was playing the game, it was right after we got the deer, the AI in, and I was sitting in the forest over here where I'm kind of heading at now. And I'm just sitting there and I see bushes around me start moving. And as soon as you see bushes moving, you know there's somebody around. It's either a player or some type of an AI that's moving around. So it's actually really cool to be able to see the bushes move, because it kind of lets you know if, even if somebody's crouched and moving through the bushes, you'll see the bushes move as they're crouched and going through the bushes. So down here on the left is a new swamp area. I'm going to go down there for a minute and kind of show that area off. And over here, I'm going to see if we can see anything here. There's actually a lot of AI down here in this field at times. They kind of wandered around as well. But I'm not seeing any right now. Anyway, yeah, I'm not seeing any down there. There'll be some down there somewhere. Okay, let me see here. While I'm moving here, I'll try to pay a little bit more attention to chat, so I apologize. Somebody's asking when Founders Club can test the version. We're still trying to finalize all the animations, but functionally a lot of the game is there and working. So, something saying about the footsteps. The footsteps actually are done when the foot actually contacts the pavement or the ground. It actually does hit detection on it. So that is really when it's hitting it. But we could slow it down and do every other footstep or something if we need to. But currently it's every single footstep. It will play a sound. There's a few shadow issues as well you might notice as I'm running here. Some of these trees.
I think the footsteps were actually a delayed sound from when you was running and then when you was walking, so that was actually hearing them coming back through from Skype chat.
It could be, but like right now when I'm on the road, sometimes it sounds like I'm running on grass. So yeah, it's an issue that we need to look into. So, you know, there's lots of cleanup. Some of that stuff can come later, though. So this here is kind of a new swamp area that's being worked on. I shouldn't say new, it's being reworked. This was done a few months ago, and we've come back and reworked this area. So you can see kind of like some of the ground detail. Just going to show this off as we go here. Has persistent fog for now in this area. Water ripples.
Swamp's been very nice.
Yeah, I'm liking the way the swamp's turning out. And then, as I was mentioning, I don't know if all these move or not. A lot of these do move. So as you can see as I move, you see the bushes moving. So that's what I was kind of referring to earlier is all players as they move through the vegetation, and like I said, some of these tall ones appear they're not enabled right now, but they will move the vegetation around you. So if you're paying attention, you'll actually know if players are trying to sneak up on you because you'll see the vegetation, the plants moving as they get close to you. So this is one of the kind of the swamp areas. There's a farm up there. I'm not going to go up to the farm today. There's a farm that's up that valley. Let's see.
I don't think there's any actual reflections. Is there of the player actually on the ball? So I think there's shadows, but not reflections.
Yeah, CryEngine doesn't support kind of real-time reflections of the player. They approximate reflections with, you know, of like trees in the environment, but there isn't any way of actually seeing a reflection of a player. The rendering engine just doesn't support that. So yeah, that isn't possible to do. So I'm going to go back up here. Yeah, I tried to... For the first person stuff, I will do another stream really soon. I actually tried to spawn in items, but the server is locked right now, so it isn't in cheat mode. And so I actually tried when I started the stream, and I can't spawn any weapons in. It's all locked out. So, but I'll do another stream and show you that. Show you firing the pistol and a few things like that as well. See, on release, will you allow players to play on first or third person? I presume you're talking about first or third person only servers. Right now it supports both. We do want to have first person only servers. I just don't know if we'll have those on day one or not. It isn't too hard to do. It's just a matter of prioritizing and going in and just make sure all that stuff's disabled. You know, because you have the first and the third toggle already. So we just need to disable that and then make sure there isn't a way for players to turn it back on and cheat. Here's some of the new kind of ground decals that have been worked on to kind of give the roads an old look. So some of this stuff I don't think we've revealed, and some of it we generally don't just because it's kind of minor. But again, just kind of give you an idea of the quality we're trying to put into the game. There's another example of the view distance. It definitely isn't up to ARMA 3 standards on the view distance, but it's pretty good. All the status indicators work on the ride. I was going to comment about that, so you can tell I'm kind of getting low on some of that. We've actually had some discussions, and so I think we'll add percentages to those as well. Right now there's a different color for every 20%. But we've had a couple suggestions for adding a percentage number, and so we'll probably do that as well just because it makes it a little easier.
How large is the map?
The map is 8 kilometers by 8 kilometers. So it's 64 kilometers squared, essentially, 64 square kilometers. So 8 by 8 kilometer map.
We still haven't actually got a date yet for founders to be able to play, but as soon as we have, you'll be told straight away.
Yeah, definitely. Notice the sound cuts off. We're still working on the sounds. We have a lot of sounds in the game. It's just a matter of getting them configured. I think we're over 700 sound files or something now in the game. So there are a lot of sound effects in the game. But just have to... Hey, there's birds flying on the ground.
Will there be big cities and skyscrapers?
They're asking you to talk a little bit louder, Graham. What we're doing is focusing on smaller areas first. We've showed off some of the, there were some, in fact, maybe I'll run up there as part of this video if I have time. Up this road is the little city of Woodhaven, and that's the one I released some screenshots of a couple of weeks ago when it was foggy. So yeah, that was one of those. So we're trying to focus on the little towns, and then there's one spot on the map that's kind of clear up in the north in the middle, and that's where we want to have a bigger city with a lot taller buildings in it. But the team is we're working up to doing the big buildings. One thing I do want to mention again is, I'm not using this as an excuse, but more as a reminder to everybody that, we are an indie team in the truest sense of the word. Nobody is doing this full time. Nobody's getting paid to do it. Everybody has other jobs and commitments right now. And so we're doing the best we can with what we have. And because of that, some things do take longer than you might be used to with other development companies that can throw 10, 20, 30, 50 full-time developers on it. Because we're all doing this in our part-time. And I do apologize. Sometimes it takes longer to get things done than we hope or we anticipate. But it's heavily based on just when people have the time to dedicate and the time to work on the game. It's kind of hard to see, but there's some birds up there flying around the top of the trees. We've started adding little details like that as well. I think those are eagles, if I remember right, but you can't really tell from here. Let's see if I can go up here a little bit farther. We've started adding more particle effects and just kind of general animals and stuff to the game. There you can see the birds a little bit better. Little details like that as well.
Yeah, although there's actually 20 people on the team, actually not all of them are fully active all the time. So as I say, that people have got commitments. So
there's a good example of footsteps. You can see them really well on this ground. So players do leave footsteps. Okay, yeah, my specs. So this computer that I'm running this on, this is my development machine, and so right now I'm running the client on it. I'm running the server on it that's running in debug mode inside of Developer Studio, and I'm streaming with OBS. And this computer, I'm running a 670 graphics card, and my processor is a 3.4 gigahertz i7. So I bought all the stuff for this computer. I think it was a little over 2 years ago, roughly. So this is about a 2-year-old PC. Those are the specs on this computer. So it definitely isn't a top-of-the-line computer, but I don't know if it's considered kind of mid-grade now or what. But that's what mine is. It's a 2 gigabyte 670 that I'm running on. So all kinds of little things, like we have a lot of little trails like this, you know, little signs, footpath sign. Again, just kind of trying to show you the quality we're trying to put into the way the ground looks, the textures look, you know, all the little details in the game. We're really trying to do, you know, the best we can. Down there, that road, that's Woodhaven that I talked about a minute ago. That's where Woodhaven starts. That's a little industrial section as you go into Woodhaven. All right, so I'm going to go explore the forest here for a minute. Okay, there's a deer right there by that rock. It's kind of hard to see him. Is that a deer? No, that's a branch. Dang it. Thought that was a deer. I'm seeing stuff. I'm like a hunter. So I want to kind of go through the... So one of the things we wanted to do with our forest is we wanted to really be able to have a really dense, overgrown forest. And because you can use that not only to hide a base in, but just so it's really hard to see other players and everything as well. So that's why these trees, as you can see in some of these places, you can't see hardly at all through these trees, and that was on purpose. We wanted it to be nice and really dense like this. The trees were designed that way. A lot of other games you'll see where you know, even though they call it a forest, you can still see a kilometer through the trees, and they rarely will have anything that comes down like this where you still can't see very far. So that was kind of one of the design goals we wanted these really dense forests in the game like this. We just think it'll be a lot of fun for players overall. So there are definitely animals that spawn in here. Another shading issue. But like I said, they're really skittish. You know, the deer, the AI on the deer is set up to where they will definitely run really fast generally if they hear or see you. And it was done that way on purpose. Sorry, just looking for a second there.
There's a question there about hosting the servers. Do you have to purchase a server?
To start off with, we're going to host all the servers. We will probably open that up relatively quickly once things are stabilized. We've partnered with Trinity Games. They've been really nice and volunteered to let us use some of their servers already for testing and development. But we do want people to have their own servers and be able to modify a few of the rules on their servers if they want. You know, for example, the time of day. You can speed up the time of day right now up to 512 times. And so you can have a full day-night cycle in 3 minutes if you really wanted to go nuts with it. Obviously, you probably would never want to do that, but it's really nice for us for testing. So there are variables like that you could set. You can disable the time of day feature as well. So you can have it freeze on a certain time if you want on your server when we release it. Or you can speed it up anywhere from a full 24-hour cycle to, like I said, up to 3 minutes for a full cycle. Trying to find stuff for you here. It's just all random. I didn't stage this at all. I just kind of jumped in and started playing, so. Here's a little area over here that's under development. Maybe I'll share Graham's picture that he's been working on for that area for fun. So that is going to be a big lumber yard, is what that's going to be over there. Hey Graham, you mind if I share the image you sent me a little while ago?
Yeah, I don't mind.
All right, I'll do that. Let me, I'll tab out of the game here for a second. Let me drag this over. Actually, I don't know if that's going to work. It's locked to the window. I'm not a streamer pro, sorry guys.
Damage and health, Terry. Someone's just asking about damage and health.
About how it regens?
Yeah. Go from 1 to 100.
Yeah, so these stats, let me go down in the forest a little bit more and see if we can find some deer and stuff walking around, and I can kind of chat while we're waiting. They're all set up on a 1 to 100 range. I'm listening as well as I'm doing this because the aggressive AI, you can actually hear their footsteps. I don't know if there's any in this forest, though, as I mentioned. Like I said, I didn't stage this at all. I just jumped in and started playing. And generally, there's 1 or 2 running around in here. But it's just luck of the draw on whether we find one or not. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw that, but I saw the bush move before I saw that deer run out. And so I knew that there was something there when I saw that bush move. That's what I was meaning by the deer are really skittish in the game right now. They hear or see you, they will definitely take off running. Sometimes if you kind of sprint up on them, you can get relatively close, especially if their vision is based on the area around them, like a vision cone essentially. But they have a pretty wide. Hey, he doesn't look like he's moving though. No, he's moving. I just don't know if he's walking or not. That's the spiker guy, by the way, the one of the AI in the game that's aggressive. But it looks like he might be bugged and not actually moving. I'll head down there in a minute and let him attack me for funds. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there. What was I saying, Graham?
We started about health.
See, there's a deer over there walking. So that's what the deer, the way they're programmed right now, is they will walk around like that, and then anything that spooks them will cause them to run. So if you're sitting here like this and you see a deer start running, then you know that something spooked it. There's something over on the other side of you that caused the deer to be spooked and to run. Just like that. So that's kind of the way it works. Yeah, the stats on the game. So right now there's your health. Your health is the first icon on the left there. Your food, your water, your hydration, your temperature, and then the radiation. They're all scaled on 1 to 100. But hey, there's another player. I see you. They're all based on 1 to 100, but they don't regen instantly. So, for example, if you eat a can of corn, your health doesn't come back. The way it's currently set up is it's pretty much based on real-world values. We took into consideration the amount of calories a person needs to consume in a day for both food and the amount of water they need to drink. And as long as you're relatively high in both of those areas, then your health will naturally regen over time. So that's the way it's set up. I'm gonna head down here for a second.
Is it possible to herd the deer?
Yes. It very much is. So the way the deer, so if you want to do a typical hunter tactic, you can have all your friends like at the south side of this valley down here. You can have one of your friends come up to the north side, and you can sprint down the valley towards them. And as you do that, the deer are programmed to run away from you. They know what direction the threat is, and they will actually generally turn and run it's kind of random based, but they will generally turn and run the opposite direction. So if you ran down through here towards your friends, the deer would naturally flee from you and run right into your friends. And so you could herd the deer into your friends and have them shoot them and kill them. So definitely, that is the way it's programmed right now. Hey, you're getting attacked. Hope you die, buddy. I'll shoot you. I don't know if you saw that. He's been attacked over there. Looks like that one isn't moving right now. I think that's Chris. I'm not sure. There goes. Dang it. And as you can see, I think I lost him. I'm hearing footsteps. Don't know if that's a deer or a player. Not sure. But as you can see, the forest is one area that's going to be a lot of fun. Just because we wanted it to be this dense. It'll create a lot of fun gameplay opportunities to have something like this in the game. And here's some more little friends. They actually run away from you, like most things in the game will. Where'd the other guy go? I don't know where he went. But anyway, there he is. All right, so there's another one. Like I said, we have a couple issues with shading and shadows. We're working on the whole lighting in the game. Let me read chat here for a second. Mutants with weapons, not yet. It's easy to add the weapons to the mutants, though, once the base AI is done. Like I said, this was the build I put together this morning, and I'll go show you the aggressive one in a second, let him attack me. They were all running around until I did the build this morning, so I must have broke something, so I apologize. But yeah, they were running around killing us yesterday in here. And right now, they're pretty mean. They kill you pretty fast. I'll go down here and see if I can find one that's moving around. I don't know if we'll find another one or not. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask in chat. The mutant that you saw a second ago, and like I said, I'll go right up and stand in his face and show you him. He actually is the one that has a big spike on his, instead of a hand on his right side. And so we call him Spiker. And that's what he attacks with, is his spiked hand. One thing I want to point out is all these bushes here. These let you hide from the AI in the game. So if you're quiet and sneak up on something behind a bush, they won't see you if you're behind a bush. So these actually occlude the AI so they can't see you in the game. So if you see a deer, this is one of the ways you can sneak up behind a deer, is to get behind bushes and crouch and walk up to them slowly so they don't hear you. So it's essentially, let me go here. So if it's taller than the player, it'll hide you standing up. And then if you're crouched, as long as it's above your head roughly, there's some rough stuff in there, then there are some bushes that only hide you when you're crouched as well. And I'm going to go sit down for a minute in the middle of my forest. Anyway. There we go. Like I said, it's just all random, so I don't know if we'll find anything else or not.
seen the guy sitting down.
Hey, Bronx.
Been here since the start. I've never seen it.
Yeah. Trying to see. There's. Not sure what. There's something. Maybe a bush on the other side. So let me read chat here again. Different characters when we're first playing. No. We actually have a female character that has been modeled. The first pass on the model was done. Oh, I'd say it's probably been a year now. But what we want to do is focus and get the male player all done. We're not trying to be sexist, but we want to just try to get the male player all done and working well first, and then we'll do the female really fast. We definitely want a female model in the game for people to play. So here's an example of the bushes moving. You know, again, as you walk through them, even in first person, they all kind of move and part. You know, almost everything in the game does this. There's a few that doesn't, that don't move right now, but pretty much every piece of vegetation in the game works that way. All right. Toad tech, yep. We don't tessellate our toads though. Don't want to use CPU on that. There are other things more important to draw. So while I'm walking around here, I'm going to go up and get attacked and probably die pretty fast. So what do you guys, kind of your general impression of the forest area? Is this something you guys wanted to see in this type of game, or really dense forest, or you think this is a bit much? It's going to be too hard to find players. I mean, if you were to come in here, I mean, you could pitch a tent right here, for example. You know, right in the right in the middle of that bush, because the way these are set up is they don't have like a physics proxy to stop you, and so you could place your tent anywhere inside of these big bushes if you find them. I personally like the idea of being able to hide stuff like in that bush, that clump, but it's going to make it a lot more challenging for you to find other people's stuff. Yeah, the whole map isn't this way. You know, some areas will be dense, some areas won't be dense. Just kind of varies. Yeah, these guys aren't moving. I apologize. He's moving, but he isn't walking, so that I apologize. I broke that somehow this morning.
Yeah, there will be a lot more clothes and stuff to customise yourself to make yourself known to your players and stuff.
Yeah, there will be. I showed the swamp a minute ago. The swamp's over there on that side of the bridge as well. So we'll have some different areas in the game that look visually different. You know, there's an area over there that's a little residential area that's being worked on. There's Woodhaven up the road. There's the beach area over here. So there's quite a lot. So we definitely want to have it be diverse. The one thing I will say is all the animals and the mutants and the players in the game are set up to where they don't like each other. And so if the mutant here was actually moving, he will chase deer around the forest all day. And he will kill them. And it's actually really funny to see. You'll be wandering through the forest, and what will happen is you'll see 2 or 3 deer come running past you out of the forest. And then there'll be a spiker guy like this guy chasing right along after them, trying to kill them. Eat animals. Probably not the little ones. The squirrels, the reason for that is the squirrels are only rendered on the client, just because if not, we might get a lot of them. We might look at doing that in the future. Right now, those are client side only, the little teeny ones. Like the birds as well, those are all client side. The deer, though, are definitely server side, and so you can kill the deer, and you'll be able to, eat the deer and do other things with parts from the deer. Yeah, as Chris just said. Alright. I just want to see if I can see anything over there walking around and moving, but I'm not seeing anything. There's stuff in those trees over there and all the way up through there, and like I said, it's just all random. You never know when anything's going to be in the game. So let me run back up through here. I think I scared all the deer to the other side of the forest or something. And I'm going to go up here. I think what I'll do is let this guy kill me and then take my luck on respawning. And if I respawn in Woodhaven... Oh, jeez. As you can tell, the deer make footstep sounds as well. I was trying to figure out what that was, and it was the deer running behind me. I don't know if you guys heard that or not. But all of a sudden I heard these footsteps coming at me, and I was wondering if it was an aggressive mutant, but nope, it was just the deer. Anyway. So the footsteps in the forest are pretty freaky, and especially at night. In fact, I'll change it to night here for fun to show you guys. Kind of give you guys the extra tour. Yeah, I'll probably run up to one of the other cities. It's still a work in progress, so don't expect a lot, but I'll show you. So just for fun here. Let me see, what is it? You guys will have to deal with me for a minute here. Shadows, static. You can see my awesome typing skills. So there's the forest at night currently.
With a torch.
Yeah, so good luck is essentially what I'm going to say on that one. Because of how dense the forest is, if you were out away from the forest where you can see more of the skyline, you wouldn't have this issue, but because the forest is so dense, yeah, we did this on purpose. We want it just like this. I mean, you can see the ground. There it is. But yeah, we want it dark in the forest. I will, the next stream, I promise, I will get a flashlight in and use it. Like I said, the server's locked and I can't spawn anything in right now. So I actually tried it the first of the stream to spawn some stuff in. Anyway. Now let's see, I got lost. Where am I at? I came that way. He's over here somewhere, I think. I'll let this guy kill me, so you can see him attack at least. He was up here somewhere, I believe. So as you guys can see, it'll be easy to get lost in the forest. Oh my gosh, I'm back at the road. That isn't where I want to go. Sorry, I'm just kind of looking around. I know I got turned around. I thought I was going the other direction. Yes, sounds will attract them, most definitely. They will be running, sprinting right towards you if you fire a gun. There he is. All right. So a couple of disclaimers on this guy. He hasn't had his the PBR, the new rendering update, done on him yet. So his textures look a little bit funky. He isn't quite done yet, but this is one of the. This is Spiker, and that's why he's called Spiker, is right there. And I'm dead. That's how it works with him. Hey. be here. Take that. I'm cheating, sorry. I can do that. Try and get a better spawn. Where am I at? Ah. Let's see, where am I at? Oh, this isn't where I want to be either. Darn it. Sorry guys, give me a minute here. I'm trying to get a spawn up at Woodhaven. I'll show you the work in progress town. There's the swamp. I just have 4 in here for now, so I apologize. It might take a second. Not getting lucky. We won't let you do this in game, obviously. I might just have to run there if I'm not getting lucky here in a second. I need the other spawn spot. Yeah, free looks in, I'll show you. So here's... Hey, there's my dead body. Here's me running forward. I hold down Alt, and I look to the side. That's free look. I look down, there's my feet. So yeah, free look is fully functional. Look all the way behind you almost. So that's free look. Right, I'm going to run up to the other town, just because I don't know how long it's going to take to randomly get up there. So go ahead and ask questions. It'll take me probably 5 minutes to run up there from here. So go ahead and ask some questions in chat, and we'll answer them. Excuse me. Yeah, the only thing wrong with Spiker is he doesn't move. He doesn't run. He was running last night, so like I said, I broke him this morning, so I apologize. Like I said, this was a completely impromptu stream. It's just like, I just want to do something because I didn't do a dev update yesterday. TrackEye or Oculus. Right now, one of the issues with CryEngine in general is we don't have a full license to CryEngine. So we can only access what they give us permission to access. And because of that, there's some people that have kind of essentially hacked in solutions for Oculus, but it isn't working right. Star Citizen, for example, they have a full source code license, and they implemented their own solution for the Oculus Rift. But we are unable to do that because we don't have the full source code. The game does really well out of the gate, and a lot of people support us. That'll be one of the first things we do is get a full license. Free look. It's a little bit jittery. There you go. Free look. Third person. You'll need to craft your base. So just kind of a little disclaimer, I wasn't planning on showing this Freehaven, this city up here. It's heavily still a work in progress, so you'll get to see what it's like as we're working on it. Durability decay will work just like you expect. When you use items, their durability will go down. There's some support for that. Let me see here. Yeah, so you can see it says health 100 right there. So those are both full health. Some of that isn't hooked up and working yet, but how often will we patch the game as fast as we can that makes sense? Especially at the start, because right now we're a small development team, as I mentioned, and we'll have a few testers helping us here soon. But there's no way we can, we don't know how well the game's going to do when it's sold. We don't know. So I'm sure we'll find issues right away that we're going to have to hotfix immediately. But we'll release updates as fast as we can. One of the advantages will be based on how well the game does at the start. Then we'll start hiring people that have been working on the game full-time and also other people to work full-time as well. And so that'll allow us to progress faster. As I mentioned right now, it's really hard for us at times because we all do this part-time and it is a lot slower than we hope. but it's just kind of the reality of a true indie development team. Yeah, ignore the weights. All these are placeholders on this stuff. I just kind of threw them in there. We haven't went back through and kind of adjusted all that. The other reason is, I'll show you some of the laundry. So if you take your shoes off, it affects how far they get thrown, the weight of the shoes. So we also have to take that into account. Now I'm barefoot. We also have to take that into account in the game. There's shoes are back on, as you can see. So a lot of stuff like that we have to take into account. Yeah, see, that's why my shoes obviously didn't love me. They're gone. Find some new shoes. And we're off. Right now, I should say everything is persistent. So somebody else can come along and dig my shoes out of that bush if they want. That's up to them. They'll be there for a long time. So this is the Woodhaven city that's under development. So this is giving you an example of what I would consider probably a medium-sized area. There's the view distance you can see there. It's 1.5 kilometers right now. And we definitely would love to update that. Like I said, in the editor, we go to 12 kilometers. So you can see from one corner of the map to the other corner of the map. But in game mode, we just have to, once we get all the assets on the map and all the vegetation in, then we'll go in and tweak the view distance and such. But we definitely want it to be as far as possible. But for now, it'll be at least that distance. So there's a work in progress building down there, the red one. So you can kind of get an idea, this is an industrial section that's being worked on. On my side, my stream froze. I don't know if you guys have a frozen stream or not.
Still running at the moment.
All right, it's going again. All right. Let me run down here. This is the fire station that's being worked on here. I think we released an image of this one. Windows are a little bit bright, some things like that still. Give you a general idea. Residential, water tower in the back, gas station. Some shops. So this is one of the reasons, see, when they moved, they took everything with them. We need to bring stuff back. Motel. Again, all this stuff's a work in progress. So nothing has been done. Like, right now, it's actually pretty easy to do once we get going, but give you a look at some of the stuff we haven't showed. Anyway, give you kind of an idea of what this stuff is like. So when you see these things that aren't populated with items, everything is set up as prefabs and groups, and so like this whole hotel, it would just take a matter of a few minutes essentially to get all that in. So even though you're not seeing furniture, the furniture is really easy to add to all this stuff. We're currently just working on kind of the bigger stuff. Kind of a gas station. It's going to be going in. So some of the little props we've shown off in the past. So I'm kind of giving you guys the, yes, respawn system works just fine. A little hiccup there. So items do respawn. Let me go back. You guys are getting the luxury tour today. Just kind kind of showing you some of the stuff. A lot of the stuff we've never even shown to anybody outside the team. Yeah, item respawn. It works. Shown some of these cool mud puddles and water puddles and stuff off before. Here's a building that's being worked on, no windows. Right, with some sheds. What's funny is the level designer works on this, and some of us have never even seen some of these things before. Because you don't see them unless you're down at the ground level running around like this.
Yeah, it's actually very rare that I actually get to.
Yeah, it is.
We have another level where all our content actually is, and most of the developers spend a lot of time in there and actually don't actually get to go around the island map.
So you can see like some of these areas don't have vegetation and stuff yet, but. All right, Chris is answering most of the questions, so that's good. Yeah, a lot of this is just, the layout's pretty much there. It's just a matter of throwing in vegetation and some of the stuff. Here's some of the other buildings. I think we've released an image of this. This is the hardware store building here. It's a little bit hard to see. I think I mentioned this before, but your player does slow down as he goes up and down steps. So it takes that into account as well. Same with the AI. They slow down on steps as well. So you can use that to your advantage. The number of mutants and AI in the game, that's something that we're just going to have to adjust based on performance and just kind of general feedback from players. As you saw, the spiker guy kills you really fast right now. So we may probably want to turn that down. Oh, on that building? Yeah, he streamed that building when he was working on it. Yep, he definitely did that. Yeah, he always asks. A lot of that stuff is like, yeah, go ahead and stream, have fun. See if I can get to where you can see that. There's going to be an observatory up there. You see on the left side on the top. Right now it's just a white box. It's just a placeholder up there. That's going to be an observatory. And there's roads. There's roads that go up the mountain up to there. More birds. We don't have bone break in yet. I like the idea, but we also have to be careful that it doesn't really hurt the gameplay too much. If you guys have played Army, you know what it means to have a broken ankle and you're out in the middle of the forest somewhere. Sometimes that isn't a whole lot of fun. So we're not sure. We definitely want to do stuff like that. We just don't know specifics yet. Will flashlights be capable of being lethal weapons? Yes, you can melee with a flashlight. Let's see, there are some houses. Where are they at? Up here. I think up here. So some more of the vegetation and trees. You know, just a lot of that kind of general stuff. Trying to make it look as natural as we can overall. Like I did mention, we're still heavily working on the lighting, the shadows, the shading of everything, kind of that whole feel of the world. And I was actually talking with one of the developers on the game earlier today about we still need to do kind of another complete pass on all the lighting in the game to make it look as realistic. Because it looks nice. I'm still not happy with it. I apologize, I'm picky. Hopefully you guys will appreciate me being picky. I know Graham loves it when I'm picky with his stuff.
Yeah, especially the time of day.
Yeah, anytime we change the values for the way the world looks during the daytime, Grandma threatens to harm us. Anyway, there's the town. I'm going up here. There's some blue houses up here that have loot in them. So not everything is currently... Where did they go? Oh, there it is. Not everything is currently set up to spawn items. And we're working on adding that right now. Like I said, the interior stuff we've kind of put off until the end, just because it's really easy to actually add. Taking damage walking... No, you won't take damage walking down a slight incline. Sorry. Yeah, Chris, you're funny. All right. There's the house. Now, there should be items somewhere, probably. Like I mentioned, it's all based on random. There we go. There's a drink. Like I mentioned, you have to look everywhere. Yeah, see that one? And the way they're colored, they're made to look old. All the cans and the food items. And so as you can see, unless you really look, you wouldn't notice that one on that bottom shelf. And when we had streamers playing this game, oh, it was almost a year ago, I think we had streamers play the game, and they were used to the DayZ style approach where they would run into a house and they would do a 5-second pass on the house and run out. And I'm sitting there thinking, watching these guys stream, and I'm like, guys, you just walked past 20 food items in that house, I can guarantee it. Because they're not used to having to really search for these items like this. And they're also not used to having them blend in like this. And so you really have to pay attention, because if not, you're going to miss a lot of food items. Like I said, I really up the spawn, but I mean, you can see that they're like, there's one down there, there's one in there, there's a bandage there. And one of the options I would like to have for a server rule is to actually turn off the menu in the middle of the screen. And because this is almost a cheat, because you can just kind of go around, oh, there's one and there's one. And so that's one of the things I'd like to turn off is kind of an advanced servers actually turn that off. So you really have to look and actually see that one right there in that cupboard? So you have to really pay attention. On that bottom shelf in that middle cupboard there, there's some food as well. Looks like beef stew. So yeah, you have to pay attention in this game. You can't just run in and do the whole ADD 2-second pass and run out. It won't work. Up here on top, there's the old Bainty Trace. I don't remember who named that on our forum, but that was a contest one. So congratulations to whoever that was, because I don't remember who you were now. For example, there are shoes in that bush. Do you see them? Because they're there. It's hard to see them, but they're right there underneath that cursor. That's why I was saying you have to really pay attention, because if not, you're going to run past a lot of loot in the game, a lot of items. And I want my shoes back, so there we go. All right, I got my shoes. I'm good to go. And there's also a smite in the grass as well. Armor or vest in the game. We're not going to start off with any military style equipment at all. That's something we will probably look at adding, but we want to be really careful that we're not overpowering anything with military equipment. This isn't a military simulator, it's a survival simulator. We'll have a couple of typical weapons like the M4, just because they are so prevalent here in the US where this is based, but like military grade stuff like flak jackets and stuff, probably not. At least not anytime soon. So, like I mentioned, this stuff blends in pretty well, so you have to pay attention. Yeah, there's one right there underneath the mattress. Anyway, just kind of give you, I'm just kind of running through. Another pair of shoes hidden in the corner, and they blend in. So you have to pay attention. The unobservant people are going to miss a lot of stuff as they run through houses. Yeah, good luck finding that. There's a chocolate bar there. Anyway. So without the menu, some of the stuff you would would never see. There's a Smite by the toilet. All right. Bandage in the cupboard. I said you can find stuff pretty much everywhere. The first pass when I was working on the houses, and I still don't have all the kind of the, there's a system that's set up that determines where things can spawn in houses at. So we can, the reason for that is so we can get very exact placement. You know, we can spawn stuff in those individual drawers and on individual shelves and everything. And so you go through and you need to set up where all the spawn locations are at. And right now in this house, I believe there are 45, in this little house that I'm in right now, there are 45 possible locations for items to appear at, and I'm not even done. There'll probably be another 20. So there'll be, just in this little house alone, there'll be 60 possible places for items to spawn at, probably, somewhere right in that range. And so it'll be very detailed, and so you really have to pay a lot of attention as you run through these houses. Let's see, I think the questions are all getting asked pretty well.
Yeah, Chris and Jenna firing away in there.
Yeah, the next stream I'll get some of the weapons in. Like I said, I was going to get some in, and I tried to spawn them in after everything was already running and it's locked out. But I was actually going to shoot some of the deer and show you their death animations and spiker and everything. But anyway. Yeah, things are different. And like I said, a lot of this is placeholders, so don't assume that this is always going to be 4. This is just what I initially set it up as 4 for the pants. More than likely, this will probably be like 2 slots or something for this. Will you record sounds yourself? We actually have a kind of almost a professional, I mean, they are professional, a couple of guys that are doing all the sound effects for the game. So they have a professional studio and everything. Yep, as Chris just said. I mentioned earlier on the stream, there's somewhere around 700 different sound files already in the game. And a lot of them just aren't hooked up, and that's just waiting for me to do that. So there will be a lot. Again, the view distance, and that's currently where it's set to. There are some airports. There's a Coast Guard area on the south coast. I believe we released images of the hangar for that quite a while ago. Yeah. I think I'll just let Chris answer all your questions. He's doing a good job in chat. Go back through our images on our website. Go to the media page on our website and go back through those images. There's a lot of images of assets on there if you haven't done that. And just kind of look at some of the things that will be in the game. How many types of mutant are currently operating? 1. There's only the rig, though, the animation, the skeleton for him, we will share. And so it's just a matter of, we have, I'm trying to remember how many we have modeled. I think we have 4 or 5 different ones modeled, I think, now. And so it's just a matter of once the first one's done, then it's just, getting them to work with the other ones. Right now, though, we want to just get one working solid and working well, and then we'll add the other ones. Yep. As I said, I'll just let Chris answer you guys, but it'll be good. On YouTube, though, people won't be able to see Chris's comments in chat because I'm going to show this on YouTube. So I kind of need to answer all these as well. So I apologize that they're kind of being double answered. Ragdoll deaths, yes. We're still adjusting all the ragdoll values, though. So there was a video also of Spiker ragdoll tests a couple months ago where he's up on a wall and I shoot him. In fact, if you want to see the one of the guns shooting, you can look at that video. It's called Spiker ragdoll testing or something like that. I think it's on Twitch and YouTube. Yes, you can jump. There's the jump. And he's holding his floating can of food. he sinks. Little issue there where you can sink through that side of the sidewalk, as you can see, but that will be fixed. It's already entered. But there's the jump. So it isn't a vault type of a mechanism. It's really a jump. So you can really jump over stuff. Eventually, you want to be able to have a vault mechanic where you can actually really vault over fences, like this one. So you can walk up to and actually, essentially climb over it quickly. But that isn't in the game yet. You can jump over short fences. I'll show you. Jump on the car. There you go. So that's in there. Voice chat. So let me address, this was actually brought up in our team meeting as well. So the issue with voice chat is, again, it's one of the issues we have because we don't have full access to the CryEngine source code. They only give that to people that pay their license fee and buy the full, the full release essentially, and which is a lot of money. And right now, their audio library isn't opened up to allow us to stream audio directly into the audio system. So right now there isn't a native way for us to integrate voice chat into the game, which was what we would like, because some of the things I'll have to show off one of these days, maybe when we do the next stream with weapons, is this actually supports, we actually have audio occlusion working in the game, and I might be able to demonstrate that down by the tents, but essentially the way it works is if there's something between you and the audio source, then the sound gets diminished, it gets attenuated. Same with gunshot sounds and everything in the game. And the reason we want voice chat integrated as part of CryEngine, and a native part of our game, is because then occlusion will work as well. So as you're talking and you go in and out of houses and in and out of areas, the sound will actually adjust based on whether there's something between you, a surface or whatever. The footsteps work the same way. Footsteps are occluded as well. You'll actually hear them change based on if you can actually see the player walking or if they walk behind a wall. So the sound occlusion is in and fully functional. So the only other option, if we can't do it natively, is to go with a third-party solution. And there are other companies that do that. For example, Sony's using a third-party solution in their work right now. And there are a couple other companies. There are companies you can approach and do that with using their services. They usually require a $5,000 to $10,000 upfront licensing fee, though, to do that. And then a lot of them want you to use their own servers, and they charge you based on the number of active users per month. And so some of those options are just not viable for us right now. We've been approaching Crytek and asking Crytek for opening up the audio libraries, not just for us, but there's other people that want that access as well. And so that's something we would love to do, is to have voice chat, but just assume it isn't going to be in alpha for the reasons I just explained. Yes, if we can get voice chatting, we will definitely have different channels. I don't know if you guys noticed that, but there's actually cloud shadowing in the game. And I wish I'd have stayed there, but there are clouds that move around in the sky, and it isn't necessarily exactly in sync with the sky, but there are clouds that move around, and they'll actually darken the terrain as the clouds move. And I don't know if you noticed them a second ago, but the ground got dark in front of me, and that's why. Is because there's cloud shadowing in as well. So there's a lot of these little features like that that are in the game that are more subtle, that a lot of people probably don't realize unless I point it out. How far can you see players? As far as we want. Right now, though, we don't have scopes in the game, and so it's set at 200 meters, but that is trivial to change. So we can up that to 6, 7, 8, 1,000, or 12 kilometers if we wanted to. So there is absolutely no issue with increasing that number. The same with mutants. They're all set at 200 kilometers currently, and just because, the reason I set it to that is because without scopes, that's about as far as you can actually see them moving on the map currently. So 200 meters, but very trivial to change. It's literally a 30-second change of that to change those. Yep, dynamic weather system is completely in. I currently have it turned off just for this stream. There are some old YouTube videos of the dynamic weather system as well. Give you a rough idea of how all that works. Full 24-hour day-night cycle as well. Rain, fog, no snow. We're not going to do snow on this map. This isn't going to be a do-everything map. So if we do snow, we want to have a dedicated map for snow. That'll be fun. There's a little rendering artifact into the wall, little things like that. I have to point out all of our dirty laundry here for fun. All right, that's kind of all I wanted to show today. Ran around, just kind of wanted to show a lot of different stuff. Again, you can come over here and hide in all these bushes if you want. A player would pretty much never see you, except if you're moving. In fact, I already came in. There we go. Yeah, it's still hard to see, but the bushes are moving. Anyway. There. Anyway. Will mutants be able to interact with objects in the world? When we get to the point, yes. They can definitely do stuff like that. We just need to add support for it. But it's definitely possible. I answered the view distance question earlier. I don't want to repeat too many questions for people that are just coming now, but the view distance right now is set to 1.5 kilometers. And the only reason it's set to that is just as we're balancing how fast the game runs. In the editor, so the editor we actually use to develop the world, it's set to 12 kilometers and it runs fine. In fact, the prior video that I showed to this, that was running inside the editor because I actually moved the window towards the end of that stream and you can actually see that it's really inside the editor. And in that environment, it's set to 12 kilometer view distance. So you can get an idea of how it looks in that game, in that video. And it still runs well. But one thing we do want to do is see the trees on that far mountain. We definitely want to be able to render trees as far as possible, at least that far. And so that's one of the things we're balancing as well, is the more trees that you're drawing, then it also affects your performance, obviously. So it's just, when it comes to performance in video games, it's a lot of juggling acts. It's really based on, how good your textures look. So let me give you an example here. Let me go look at these textures on this fire department. I haven't ever looked at them this close. Okay, so there's the textures on the fire department. Now, if you compare that to other games, I don't know if you call that good or not good. I don't know. In my opinion, that's pretty good for a game like this that's running on 64 square kilometers and yada yada. So, but to get textures that look detailed, there are multiple layers of textures on that wall. And so the more detail you add to something like that, then generally it will affect having less trees in the distance draw. It's all just a big trade-off. So the more detail you add up close, the less you can draw at a distance. And it just comes down to a big juggling act on the performance of these games. Yeah, as Chris is saying, it really comes down to the animations right now. I'll do another stream here and show you some of the weapons and stuff that are functional as well. Again, I apologize I didn't have those, but running at 60 frames. I think this is probably close to 60. In fact, I will show you exactly what it's running at. Remember, this is in a window, development environment, server running, all of the fancy stuff. I'm running at 54 frames a second, 52 frames a second right now. So as I move around, you can see that we'll adjust. And this is very high spec in CryEngine. This is what it's currently set to right now. It's kind of hard to see, but if you look in the top right corner, those are all the specifics, numbers. The second row down DirectX 11, 64-bit, very high spec, running SMAA 1X right now as far as for anti-aliasing mode. So it's pretty maxed out on the graphic quality. That's about as good as you can get. And I'm getting 50 frames a second in this city. And like I said, this is on, like I said, on a massive map, 64 square kilometers. I'm in the middle of the map, north and south, and about a third of the way in on the side. So I'm not quite in the middle of the map, but I'm pretty close. Anyway, like the orange row there, you can see, just for those people that are curious, I'm currently using just about 1 gig of video RAM. So I have it set to only use 1 gig so far, so it isn't even using the other gig that's on my video card, because we haven't peaked at 1 right now. Somebody was asking about low-end machines, and just for fun, I'm going to show you something. And let me go in here, and I'm going to crank all these down. Now, I did this once earlier, and I didn't like it, so if the game freezes, I apologize. Hopefully it won't. Okay, this is low. But I think it still has a lot of stuff cached. Yeah, it still has a lot of stuff cached, so it's not going to work right. It would take a while. But let me see if I can get some of the low-res textures to appear. I'm leaving my frames for a second up there just for fun so you guys can see the number. Yeah, what it does is when you're in low, it reduces the resolution of textures. So you can see that one is starting to look a lot, kind of more granulated and pixelated and everything. This is because I changed down to low spec. So that's low. But anyway. Yeah, CryEngine really does run on low. Like I said before, it kind of comes down to a big juggling act on pretty much everything in the game when it comes to performance. But as long as we've done our assets correctly and we've optimized stuff correctly, it'll run on amazingly low computer specs. Interior view inside of vehicles, yes, when they're in. We're holding off on vehicles. The next stream, I'll repeat again, the next stream we'll throw some weapons in. For the people that came late, I apologize. I actually can't spawn weapons in. The server is locked, so I can't cheat, even myself right now. I'd have to restart everything to do that. All right, the M4 is modular, yes. Chris is answering that. There are attachments for it. The M4 may not be in the initial release, though, just because we want to do a great job on it. But that's one of the things we would patch in really fast. Well, I feel like I'm just repeating myself now. So if anybody has any additional questions or anything you absolutely want to see that I can do, then let me know. If not, I'm going to go ahead and finish. How many cities in the map? I'll let Chris answer that as well. But right now there are, if you talk about different areas under development, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now these aren't big cities. These are like farm areas and stuff as well. And there's 5, I think, under development roughly right now, different kind of areas like that. There's a lot. There's a lot of the map we haven't done much with, to be honest, that won't be in early access. We'll probably just block them off. There are ways you can populate the whole map at once using splat maps and have it kind of randomly placed based on, the terrain type and so on. But the problem is you get essentially randomly generated worlds like that. They don't look good. And that's just my personal opinion. Other people can differ. Everything you see here has been hand placed by somebody. Every bush, every blade of grass, everything here has been hand placed. And the difference is that you end up getting a really good quality looking game where if you use splat maps and stuff like that, it just looks cheap. And that's my opinion. It doesn't look nearly as good. It doesn't look, you know, the quality level you suffer in the sake of doing something fast. And one of the things that I mentioned earlier, we're really focusing on is quality in this game. You know, we really want things to look good. You know, we want the detail to be there and everything, so that's why. Again, this is low spec, so anyway. More birds. All right. Yeah, my name is Terry, sorry. Craftable chests. We do have chests, and you will be able to store items in them, yes. Swimming, yes, you can swim. You can dive under the water as well and swim, and you can drown. The prior video, in fact, if you look at the very end of it, I believe I swam out in the ocean just a little bit. So look at the prior video, and where I start on the beach, and at the very end of it, I swim. So just give you a general idea. We haven't done hardly any work on the swimming stuff, though. That's something we'll really polish later. So everything you see is very basic in that video. Okay. Level designers, yes. We always need level designers. We just got a new level designer, in fact, that came on, and he's doing an awesome job. Let's see, I'm just kind of glancing for, you will use procedural system. I'm not sure what you're referring to, whether it's terrain or what, but on that, but. All right, guys, I don't see any new questions, so I'm gonna go ahead and end this, and we'll also post this on YouTube, so everybody else can look at it on YouTube. So this was my apology for not doing the development update yesterday. I decided to jump in the game and impromptu jump in the game and just kind of run around for a few minutes to show people kind of what we've been doing, what we've been working on. So anyway, that's kind of where we're at. Ballistics, okay, a couple of new questions. Ballistics and bullet drop, yes, fully functional. In fact, wind even affects ballistics and bullet drop in the game. So it's very detailed. You know, even in games like Arma, the wind doesn't affect ballistics, but this game, wind does affect ballistics. Again, there's a lot of videos in the archives. There's a video where I shoot, and I don't remember which one this is, I apologize. There's one where I shoot the pistol and actually show you the trajectory of the bullet, and you can actually see it move. And you can actually see it drop, and you can actually see it curve to the right slightly because of the wind that was active on the map at the time. Air vehicles, nothing right away. We do want some homemade style air vehicles eventually, but it probably won't be anything like helicopters or planes. It'll be more homemade looking stuff. All right, guys, I appreciate your time. I'm going to end the stream now. And if you have any more questions, just post on the forums, and we'll answer them as fast as we can on the forums. Thank you for your time.